Uh, Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Ian Munday, and today I'm going to be talking about courses relating to teaching at NUI Galway. Okay, so we'll begin by looking at different pathways to teaching. So, in order to teach in Ireland, it's essential that you complete an initial teacher education programme. So in Ireland, initial teacher education programs for primary and for post-primary teachers are facilitated through a range of concurrent undergraduate and consecutive postgraduate programs. So just to say something about what that means, a concurrent program is one in which you would be doing a degree subject at the same time as you would be studying education and doing practical things connected to teaching. The consecutive program would be one that you would do after you'd completed your undergraduate degree for 2 years. So all teacher education programs in Ireland that lead to registration must have professional accreditation from the Teaching Council. Okay. So as regards NUI Galway's program offerings, we offer a concurrent route, so for undergraduates, so this would be a BA in Education, Computer Science and Mathematical Studies, GY 133, and a BA in Mathematics and Education, GY 109. These are the only two concurrent routes that we provide. So for the consecutive route, you could choose a degree in NUI Galway, for example, a BA, and then you would do the Professional Master of Education, or MGO, for 2 years. And this would be a postgraduate course in post-primary teaching. Currently, we do not offer a course in primary teaching. So one thing that it's very important for you to remember is that you should choose your degree subjects very carefully if the consecutive route is the one that you go for, as this could have an impact on what you were able to teach at post-primary level. So it's a good idea to think about that now. Okay. So as regards the concurrent route at NUI Galway, your degree is going to be specific in some kind of teaching. So you would choose a specific teaching degree program on your CAO application. For example, the BA Education in Computer Science and Mathematical Studies, or the BA in Mathematics and Education. So this would be 4 years in duration for each of those two options, and a teaching qualification is built into each program. So if you opt for the consecutive route instead, you would complete your degree in your chosen area first, and then choose your postgraduate program in teaching, primary or post-primary. So, for example, Professional Master of Education, the PME, or the MGO. So this would be 2 years in duration, and you would incur fees for both years. There's no guarantee that you would gain automatic entry, so it's something that we should say now. So applicants will be rated or scored, and the very top students get entry into our programs. So teaching qualification is also therefore built into the 2-year program. So that would be the consecutive route, where you to decide that that's what you wanted to do. Okay, so I'm going to talk through the 2 undergraduate courses now, or concurrent courses. Okay. So with the BA in Computer Science and Mathematical Studies, so GY 133, this course level 8, lasts for 4 years. The expected intake that we have for this course would be roughly 20 students, and you would be a qualified teacher at the end of 4 years and gain automatic registration with the Teaching Council. So why choose this course? So the course allows you to combine the study of mathematics with computer science and with education. As I said before, it's a 4-year concurrent initial teacher education program. The course is accredited by the Teaching Council. As I said before, this is essential. And graduates of the program will be recognised by the Teaching Council as qualified post-primary teachers of computer science and mathematics. I should say that the study in mathematics here is mathematical studies as opposed to mathematics, and there's an important distinction here. This level of mathematics makes you qualified to teach mathematics at school, but is of a less complex kind than the mathematics that you would study were you studying a degree in mathematics, or if you were doing the BME course, which I'll talk about later. So computer science, as I'm sure you know, is a relatively new subject at senior cycle. And on this slide, you can see the various things that are covered there. So strand 1, practices and principles, covers computers and society, computational thinking, design and development. Strand 2, you would look at core concepts. So abstraction, algorithms, computer systems, data, evaluation and testing. Strand 3 relates to computer science in practice. So applied learning, task 1, interactive information systems, analytics, modeling and simulation, and then embedded systems. So this is what you would be preparing to teach were you to choose this particular, or being prepared to teach for you were choosing this particular route. Okay, and on the course, we try and establish links, or you will see links between education, computer science, and mathematical studies. So a blend, therefore, of knowledge and experience of education, how to teach mathematics and computer science, and then subject matter knowledge, which will be provided by people within computer science and mathematical studies. Okay, to give you an idea of the shape of things, of how this works, you can see what's covered during the course of this of your degree here. So in year 1, you can see that you would cover analysis and algebra, mathematical skills, computer systems, programming, then history of education, philosophy of education, professional studies, school placement, educational sciences. In year 2, calculus, linear algebra, statistics, object-oriented programming, web-based IS, methodology in teaching, and school placement again. I'll talk about school placement shortly. In the 3rd year, discrete mathematics, linear algebra, systems analysis, and web application development, curriculum and assessment, school placement, psychology, and sociology. And for year 4, complex variables, geometry, calculus 2, a final year project, multimedia, a block school placement, and a final year project in education. So, okay, so one thing that I didn't mention before that, the blue, the things which are in blue relate to mathematics, in green relate to what you would do in computing, and in red relates to what you would be doing in education. So talking to the things that you would cover specifically in education, we have something that we call educational sciences more broadly, that includes philosophy, history, something we call EDSJ, which is sociology, I suppose, really, and psychology. And we see these as being very important things for you to engage with when it comes to teaching. So having a sense of the past of Ireland's education system is seen as being very important. The philosophy of education relates to thinking about the purposes of education. Why are you teaching what you teach? Psychology will give you knowledge regarding learning theories and different ideas in relation to issues such as motivation and issues pertaining to inclusion. And EDSJ, which is, as I said, is a kind of sociology of education, really, would relate to issues around inclusion, to do with social justice, to do with gender, to do with race and ethnicity. So in engaging with those things, you get a richer understanding of what education's about, but one that also has practical value in helping you think about what you do when you're teaching. Of course, there's also a methodology aspect to this, where you're taught various skills pertaining to teaching. And as you can see, there's a placement aspect to the course on all 4 years. And I'll say a little bit more about that shortly. Okay. So what do you qualify to teach? If you do this, well, mathematics at junior and senior cycle, and computer science at senior cycle. So as I said, I would talk a little bit more about the school placement situation here. So during the 4 years, student teachers will experience a practical school placement and teaching experiences. So in your first year, you would have a primary school placement. The second year, you would undertake micro teaching, where children from local primary schools would come into the university, and you would get to practice your teaching with them. Then an 8-week block in a post-primary school. This is something that you would be completing whilst you would be in Galway. So you would be, on some days you would be having your classes, on others you would be teaching in school. For the third year, you would provide resource support in a local second level school. And year 4, the whole of semester 1 in year 4 would be in a second level school. So this is the largest block, and one where you would be in the entire time. So you would have no classes in computing or mathematics or education during this period. You would simply be teaching. And many students decide to stay at home during that particular block and teach in a school that's local to where they live. So as you can see from that, and it's worth stressing the value of this kind of approach is it's very gradual. So you get used to the process over the course of your degree until by the 4th year you come to do a full block of teaching practice. And for many students say to us that they find this gradual aspect to it very useful, because it gives you time to settle in. Were you to do the consecutive route, then things would be much more intense very quickly. But then for many people, that would be a preferable option too. Okay. So further information, here are the details of those people who are directors. That includes myself. So I'm one of the co-directors of this program, but also my colleagues Kirsten Pfeiffer in the School of Mathematics, Applied Maths and Statistics, and Dr. Finley Smith from the School of Computer Science. So if you have any questions about this particular course, then please do email us. Thank you. Okay. So we looked at the first offering that we provide at undergraduate level. Our second offering is the BA in Mathematics and Education. So yes, it's a level 8 course, lasts for 4 years. Again, the average intake will be about 20 students. One thing to say about that, as the groups are quite small, people tend to get to know each other very well. And often they provide a very good support network for each other during the course of their degrees. So this is something, again, to bear in mind. I think we have very happy groups as a consequence of that particular thing. So you would be a qualified teacher at the end of the 4 years of this course and gain automatic registration with the Teaching Council. So so this is a 4-year full-time undergraduate degree, which offers 2 valuable qualifications: an honours degree in mathematics and a second level teaching qualification. So you would be both a qualified teacher and a qualified mathematician. So yes, graduates of the programme will therefore be recognised as excellent mathematicians and recognised by the Teaching Council as qualified post-primary teachers of mathematics and applied mathematics. One of the things that I should say, whilst it is, you know, it is the case that applied mathematics is part of what you would do on the course. Students who haven't necessarily experienced this are given opportunities to catch up in regards to applied mathematics. So the School of Mathematics is very good at supporting students in that regard. If any of you have any concerns in that regard, then I thought I should highlight that, really. So what are you qualified to teach at the end of this? Well, mathematics and junior and at senior cycle, and applied mathematics at senior cycle. Yeah. And what can you pursue with your mathematics degree? So whilst many students will decide that they want to become teachers afterwards, some of those who do may not. And therefore, it's worth having a sense of what you can do with a strong degree in mathematics. And so this opens the door to a vast array of career options, and you can see below the website that you can have a look at in regards to this for inspiration and guidance in terms of what you might do. Okay, so on the course, we hope to establish links, or we do establish links between education and mathematics. The education part of the course will cover the knowledge and experience of education, how to teach mathematics and applied mathematics, and the subject matter knowledge will be provided in by mathematics and and people working in applied mathematics. Okay, so the role of the School of Education in all of this is to engage student teachers in the theoretical knowledge necessary for teaching in second level schools. So very much the same as what I talked about earlier in the video, where you would cover areas such as psychology, philosophy, sociology, history, etc., but also mathematics pedagogy. So think about that in very simplistic terms as skills and knowledge pertaining to teaching itself, preparation for teaching practices, and also there will be an element that would involve you conducting research. And as with the other course that I talked about, the structure in regards to school placement is the same. So the first year involving a primary school placement, the second year involving micro teaching. Again, just to remind you what that is when groups of students are brought into the university, smaller groups, and then you would team teach those students to kind of learn what how to teach in the first instance before going into your teaching block. So the 8-week block in the second year, then in the third year, resource support, and in the fourth year, you would have, again, as with the other course, all of semester one would be taken up with a teaching placement. So to say something about the role of the School of Mathematics, Statistics and Applied Mathematics, the role is to engage student mathematicians in the mathematical thinking skills necessary to develop, understand and communicate mathematics. To develop a foundation in applied mathematics, so this is what you would be doing in the School of Mathematics, Statistics and Applied Mathematics. So no prior knowledge, as I said before, is assumed regarding applied mathematics. So they will support those who have no prior knowledge of it. Thirdly, they aim to harness and excite curiosity in a range of mathematical topics at university level, to promote a deep and enduring learning of mathematics, and to create competent and confident mathematicians and teachers of mathematics or applied mathematics. So the course outline here that you can see in red, you have the education modules, and in blue, the mathematics ones. So history and philosophy will be covered in the first year, a school placement, educational sciences, so this relate to psychology here and sociology. The principles of second level mathematics, and then in mathematics, in the School of Mathematics, so you'd be moving between buildings, I suppose. You would look at algebra and calculus, mathematical skills, and applied mathematics. In the second year, this would cover mathematics methodology and school placement, and then in maths, differential forms, advanced algebra, statistical data and probability in mechanics. In the third year, you do a module on curriculum and assessment to get you thinking about those processes in relation to your teaching. There will be a school placement and further coverage in regards to psychology and sociology. Then in mathematics, you look at discrete mathematics, complex variables, groups, and modeling. And then in the final year, I've mentioned this before, you'd have your block school placement. So that would take up the entire first semester for education. And you wouldn't be doing anything other than being on school placement during that first semester. And then the final year project that you would cover in the second semester. And then you would be looking at a number of other areas in mathematics, including topology, cryptography, geometry, fields, and applications. Okay, so the two co-directors of this program, again, I'm one of them, so you can see my details there, and Kirsten is the other one for the School of Mathematics. So please, if you have anything that any further questions in regards to this that you want to ask about, please do contact both or either of us in relation to that. We'll be delighted to respond to your emails. So for more information that may be useful to you, you might check out the Teaching Council website, or the Career Development Service, or the School of Education website. You can see the details about there on your screen. So thank you everybody for listening. I hope that provides some useful information for you when making a decision. And as I've said before, please do get in touch with myself or either of my co-directors if you have any further questions in regards to either of the two concurrent undergraduate programs that we provide at Galway. So thank you very much.